The completed Lima interface comprises of 3 discrete pages, 2 control pages and 1 overview page intended to provide global information on system settings during a performance. Of the 2 control pages, the first is for the drum tracks and the second is for everything else, which amounts to the synthesizer tracks and the sample tracks coming from the Octatrack. Both control pages are divided into 3 main sections for panning, mixing and sub-patch control, with 2 save and recall panels, one for the panner and a smaller shared one for the mixer and sub-patch parameters. As you can see, the largest area is given to the panner to make it easier to control accurately by hand. It's a Lima multi-ball object containing 8 balls, each controlling an ambisonic panner plugin in Reaper. And of course it's a multi-touch interface, so the user can grab as many panners at once as they like so. The mixer section controls the 8 corresponding faders in Reaper, and as you can see, the balls in the panner and the mixer channels are colour coordinated so that the user can easily identify the instrument being panned. Notice also that the MIDI control values for the mixer are scaled to give the most useful performance response in relation to the input level. So with the Lima faders at 127, they will yield the full 12 dB of channel gain. However, reducing the Lima fader to 0 will result in a maximum attenuation of 30 dB in Reaper, which is sufficient to make the signal inaudible, which allows the system to run with unity preamp gain on every channel, making it much easier to set up in a new environment such as a performance venue, for example. On the drum control page, the sub-patch control section to the right of the mixer contains 16 knobs, which are mapped to the row of assignable control knobs on the TR-8S and to its controls for master effect parameters. Unlike the panner and mixer sections, sub-patch controls are bidirectional by design, allowing the user to operate the controls of the instruments during a performance and to recall the sub-patches from any parameter value. Just demonstrate that bidirectional control here so you can see I've got 2-way control over the sub-patch parameters from the TR-8S and over here on its master effects also, like so. The drum panner save panel allows for the saving of 8 pan positions per song using the preset buttons 1 to 8. So here are the 8 preset buttons. You can see I've got some different pan positions saved in there already. From here we can also toggle on sync mode and set the measure variable used by the sync recall feature. So I can switch sync on and set my measure variable to, let's say, 2 bars and recall a preset with sync recall like so. There are also some additional controls for the specialised panning functions chain, retrig and bounce. The Mix and Control Save panel allows the user to save a maximum of 4 settings and 4 sub-patch settings per song. As with the panner panel, the user can also toggle on sync mode and recall saved settings from the preset buttons and set the measure variable used by sync recall. So you can see we've got 4 presets for the mixer and 4 presets for the sub-patch section, and these share a sync button and a measure variable, and we can do a sync recall with these also. Finally, on the drum control page there are some buttons for resetting the variable counters and knob positions, which are normally not needed. However, they are useful when encountering difficulties, and so it was decided to leave them in place in the completed interface. There's also a solo button for the drums, which works by muting the synth and sample tracks in Reaper, useful when setting drum presets in the studio, like so. The synth control page provides the same panning and mixing functionality as the drum control page. However, the sub-patch section this time contains only 12 knobs, 4 for the Moog and 4 for each of the Prophets layers. This allows the user to designate 4 parameters per instrument that can be altered and saved as sub-patches or manipulated from the hardware during a performance, again allowing sub-patches to be recalled from any value. So you can see I've got bidirectional control here. The 4 purple ones are for the Moog, and the first 4 are for layer A of the Prophet, like so, and the second 4 are for layer B. This allows the user to designate 4 parameters per instrument that can be altered and saved as subpatches or manipulated from the hardware during a performance, again allowing subpatches to be recalled from any value. This section also contains a horizontal fader object which is mapped to the Octatrack's crossfader and a button to engage mix mode. The Universe page provides a global system-wide view showing the current pan and mix positions for the drums and synthesizer tracks. These controls simply mirror the main controls and therefore cannot be used to operate the panner or mixers. They are instead intended to provide a visual representation of the current mix state to the user. Each of the 4 sync mode buttons can be toggled on and off from the Universe page, however, and the user can also solo the mix by section or mute individual tracks as desired. So here are my 4 sync buttons: sync for drum pan and synth pan, and sync for drum mix and synth mix. And I can solo my drum tracks and solo my synth tracks. And we can also mute tracks individually, like so. Each section also contains a value readout showing the current pan preset selected and the sync measure value. The bottom of the Universe page is divided into 2 sections. The left side is designated for song performance information. The user can type anything in this area, and you can see that I have the song name plus some information about song sections and other reminders that tell me which controls to operate and when to do it within the song. And you can see if I select a different song, the information updates with some new performance notes. In the bottom right we have some global controls which are used for changing window sets in Reaper, a button to start recording on all tracks to record a performance as a multitrack, a master mute button and a master volume fader. Finally, on the Universe page we have another mix button and crossfader, which are duplicates of those found on the synth control page. This means that the user can operate the tricky mix process from either the synth control page or the Universe page.